Hello traders, Day Trader Matt here at businesswithtrading.com doing a trading strategy recap for the 22nd of April, Wednesday, and today was another interesting day of trading. Today we ended up with, obviously you cannot be 1-0 if you lost money, so let's fix that real quick. We were 1 for 2 with 3 trades. Alright, so that makes more sense there. We took 3 trades today. We were 1 for 2 and ended up dropping 3.5 points in the market. 3.5 points is something that's totally manageable. We're up a little over 130 points this month, so 3.5 point give back is really a small drop in the bucket. Trading is one of those things that it is up and down. You're gonna, make money one day, you might lose money another day, and it should be skewed towards, making money. There should be more money made during the days of the month than money that's lost. But it's something that happens. When it happens, you have to be okay with it. But let's get into today, because today was rather interesting, and it's a great example of what I've been talking about, having to have patience and being in control of your trading strategy and being able to implement it. So what we did today is right off the open, price started to sell down a little bit, and we ended up getting long. Actually, it was right here, and we did get taken out of that. And price chopped around a little bit, chopped around a little more. As it was coming down, we decided to get long right up here, and obviously we got stopped out here. Price came down, started to shoot back up. We tried to get long a little bit lower, and price did not come down and fill us. It's one of those things, and then prices started to move higher. Now, you can look at that and you can say, well, if we would have gotten in this trade, we would have made money this day. But that's not how you're supposed to look at things. You're supposed to look at things, as they are, objectively. That's what we do as traders. We look at things on a risk perspective. We look at things objectively as, this is what happened. Obviously during the trading in real time, things are subjective because, price is going to go different ways, and you just have to see where it goes and go with it. So we had these 2 losing trades, and then price shoots up. So after, as it's coming up, I try to get long, doesn't get us in. Price keeps coming up, and we get long over here, and we're able to ride that up and take profits. Afterwards, we watch price a little bit more, and it doesn't really do anything. So we call it a day, because that's all you really can do. And that's really what trading is about. Now this afternoon actually did give us a pretty decent trade. It was right in here, and worked out really well. But that's for the methodology. That's not for a trading room. So we don't count that in the trading room because that's how you're supposed to do things. At least that's how I do things. All of the trades we talk about happen inside the trading room from 9:30 till 12 o'clock, or maybe a little bit before 12 o'clock. Because sometimes we do close a little bit early. I think today a couple minutes early, something like that. But that's how, you have to look at things really. As they are on the surface. There's no, if I got filled here, this would have happened. If I got filled there, that would have happened. You have to be in control of your methodology. And you have to look at things. You're like, okay, well, what happened today? Obviously, we were wrong over here. It did actually reverse. So what were we correct on? We were correct that the market wasn't going to fall out of bed. It wasn't going to have just a waterfall down. Okay, that's cool. And we did have a trade over here that was successful. We tried to get long here, but it is what it is. So that's a positive, right? And that's what I try to do. I try to look at the positive things first. And then, well, what did I do wrong? Obviously, I was a little bit aggressive on the long side in the morning. But that's what trading's about. And we only dropped 3.5 points. We were down 6.5 points until this trade. This trade we got in and we were able to make it count. But whenever I get 2 stop outs in a row, I get very conservative. I don't want to take 3 stop outs in a row. So I try to be as conservative as possible so that way that doesn't happen. And sometimes that conservatism does cost trades. But I would rather err on the side of caution and miss a trade than be aggressive and get another stop out. So, that's my thinking there, and that's what I try to do. I know some people, they stop after 2 stop outs. I don't believe in that. I believe, you're trading during a set period, you go for it. Now, if you take 3 stop outs, yeah, that's probably a good time to stop. But you want to avoid that as much as possible. I've had days like that before. Luckily I haven't had any recently like that where you've had 3 stop outs in a row. That sucks, but it happens. And that's really what trading is. You're going to have stop outs. You're going to have unsuccessful days, but it's how you deal with them. It's how you come back from them that really does make determine who you are as a trader. So, anyway, hopefully you got something out of what I was talking about today. If you want to add to this discussion, comment below. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here in the markets. Thank you.